Hello and welcome to episode number 17 of Gowing Life's Longevity Weekly. I'm your host Chris Cohen, and this is the show where I bring you all the news and updates from the world of health, wellness and longevity. So today we're going to be talking about what exactly is insulin resistance. My chat with the founding director of the Barshop Institute, Dr. Arlan Richardson, and can lithium microdosing be an effective therapy for Alzheimer's? So without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, let's talk about insulin resistance. When you eat a meal with carbohydrates, these molecules are broken down and absorbed into your blood as glucose, thus raising your blood glucose level. In response, beta cells in the pancreas produce insulin, which, in healthy people, has a number of effects. Firstly, insulin increases the uptake of glucose from the blood by your cells. By binding to the receptors on the surface of the cells, insulin triggers the insertion of GLUT4 proteins into the cell membrane. These proteins act as openings through which glucose diffuses into the cell. Secondly, insulin promotes the storage of excess glucose as glycogen, a molecule that is easily converted back into glucose, but which takes up a lot of space. Most of the glucose we consume, around 80 to 90%, is stored as glycogen in the muscle tissue or the liver. Insulin also stimulates lipogenesis, or the conversion of glucose into fat, which is a more efficient energy storage than glycogen, but also is much harder to access. And finally, insulin also blocks the production of glucose by the liver. Now, as I said, this is what we expect to observe in a healthy person. However, for someone with insulin resistance, insulin fails to trigger these effects, even when the pancreas is releasing more and more of the hormone in an attempt to overcome this resistance. Consequently, insulin-resistant individuals will maintain a higher blood glucose level compared to a healthy person, leading to type 2 diabetes. Now, if you want to check out the molecular details of insulin resistance and find out exactly what causes it, be sure to check out Alex's full article, which goes deeper into the cellular mechanisms. And secondly is one of my favourite talks with Dr. Arlan Richardson. Dr. Richardson was one of the co-founding directors of the Barshop Institute, one of the world's leading authorities on longevity and ageing studies. He currently works at Oklahoma Health Science Center, where he is researching calorie restriction. Now, in our talk, we cover his impressive career in the longevity field, his current work, and the potential of rapamycin as an aging intervention. Now, here's just a short clip for you. How has the field changed from 1971 to then 95 when you joined the Barshop Institute to nowadays?
A lot of people at the time felt that you can't do there was this concept, you can't do anything about it. It's inevitable and this sort of thing. And as I pointed out in several articles early on, was people thought that about cancer too, about 100 years ago. You just couldn't do anything about it. And then, as I said, there were a lot of people that thought it just happens. You just run from one thing to another thing and you just finally die. So the amazing thing is that I would guess in the 80s and 90s, people got really interested and the newspapers picked up on it. And it's gone from a backwater area of aging to, I think, one of the hottest areas.
So thanks again to Dr. Richardson. It really was a fascinating talk, and it will be up on our website very shortly. And finally, can lithium microdosing help prevent Alzheimer's? The metal lithium, while highly toxic at sufficient doses, has actually been shown to have protective effects on the brain. This is linked to its ability to boost certain enzymes, and in particular, an enzyme called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Lithium has also long been used in the treatment of severe bipolar disorder, and works by modulating certain neurotransmitters like dopamine, balancing out the highs and lows of an individual's mood. It is also being shown to inhibit proteins involved in the formation of amyloid plaques, aggregated proteins that contribute to Alzheimer's disease. This led to scientists asking, would microdosing lithium be beneficial to patients with this neurodegenerative condition? Now, the scientists evaluated the effect of a daily dose of 300 micrograms. This is hundreds of times lower than the dose used for mood disorders, given to Alzheimer's disease patients for 15 months. Their cognitive function was then tested at regular intervals and compared to an untreated control group. After 3 months of the lithium microdosing, patients performed significantly better in the cognitive test than the control group, and this difference increased progressively throughout the study period. This served as really promising data. However, the use of lithium to treat Alzheimer's disease is controversial, as studies vary greatly in their methodology, dosing, and also the toxicity of regularly consuming lithium make it impractical for long-term treatment. Microdosing lithium, however, may have the potential to significantly reduce cognitive decline while negating or minimizing the harmful side effects. And that's it for another episode of Longevity Weekly, so I really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to find out any more information about what I talked about here today, then you can go and check out the links that I'll leave below. Also check out some of the other articles on the website from this week, in particular one on high fructose corn syrup, is it worse for you than regular sugar? And also plans for the world's largest induced pluripotent stem cell genome engineering project. So go and check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Goodbye.